Welcome to episode 250 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Walton. As always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
Are we really at 250?
250.
Good Lord.
It's a lot of podcasting.
It is. I feel pretty poor for doing it for 250 episodes.
We're slowly approaching 5 years of podcasting. I think our first episode was up December 16th, 5 years ago.
Yeah, that seems right.
Yeah, so I think the podcast officially launched like October 21st, or the website, I should say. We recorded like 5 episodes that never made the cut.
That's because they were amazing.
Yeah, because we were figuring out life and how this thing works. And then December 16th, I believe, was our first official Into the Wild episode. We were young and full of life.
And now we're
still excited about things.
Now we're just like that old guy who sits in the chair with a beer and just watches sports and tells his wife to cook me chicken pot pie, bitch. And,
wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that guy.
I think you are. I think you just don't know it.
It's like when you hire somebody new at work and they're still like bright-eyed and full of life, and you're like, just wait.
It's coming.
Just wait. Because 4 years from now, it'll just be dead when I look at you.
Yep. Your eyes. You'll be dead in your eyes.
They glaze over like in a way that you can't explain.
You look like you have no soul.
Yeah, right. But when you start, you're so excited. You're like, this is going to be great.
Yeah, I'm going to zoom up the ladder.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here with you guys.
We're going to make them successful, and they're going to make me successful. It's going to be a great trade-off. It's not how business works. They don't give a fuck about you.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes time to figure that out.
You look like Bruce from Finding Nemo when he smells blood.
Yep.
That's all you got left. It's just black and glazed over.
You're just another cog in the machine.
Speaking of cog and machine, what'd you play this week?
I did play some stuff, but not really anything new. I take that back. I have started playing the second episode of Life is Strange Before the Storm. I have not finished that yet. Again, I'm dragging it out. I'm working on some other stuff, and played some Fortnite, some Friday the 13th, and some Rocket League. And that, I'm pretty sure, about sums up what I've played. We
played those last 3 together.
Not well, it should be noted.
Or attempted to, right? Some of the, I don't even think sloppy is the right word. Some of the worst multiplayer gaming I've ever seen 2 people do together.
Well,
we lost at everything hard.
That is true. I don't feel like it was all. It all came down to skill, though. I mean, sometimes, anytime you're playing a video game like that, luck. There is some luck involved.
Right.
And we had none.
Yeah, we did have a bad pull on pretty much everything we did. Now, Fortnite, there's a good chance the blame falls on the jump location, which was mostly chosen by me. So there's some human element to that luck. But Friday the 13th, I just super unlucky in that game.
I see. I did pretty well.
Last match we played, it put me by like a good house that was full of everything.
Yeah.
But I still got murdered.
Well, I think the key is when you're the counselor, and you probably don't realize this yet, because you're trying to be stealthy, you're trying to sneak so you don't get heard. But the key is to get as much as you can out of many houses at first.
See, I try that, but it's like he's always fucking right there.
Yeah, and really, what you need to
constant.
What you really should do if you're playing as a counselor is find other people and get with them.
Yeah, I always find an idiot though that wants to like just make as much racket as possible.
Well, that's fine because that's why Jason's getting him. You can run.
No, but he gets me. He shows up to get that guy and then gets me.
Oh.
Because I'm an idiot and can't run right.
You do. I remember watching you. You do kind of put yourself in like, oh shit, now I'm in a corner where a fence meets a rock.
Yeah.
Now I have to turn around.
But it's maybe like my TV. Maybe I need to mess with my set. It's so dark I can't even see when I'm out like deep in the woods like that.
Really? Yeah, you probably should mess with the gamma on your TV.
Yeah, I'll do it the right way where it's like do it when it's very barely visible, and I should have cheated up a little bit because I can't see when I'm in the deep woods like that. And there was a stint where Jason chased me for like 3 minutes swinging right behind me.
Uh-huh. I watched it.
And that camera's pretty.
You had the pickaxe.
That camera's pretty pulled in close when you play. Like, it's pretty tight on your back. It's third person, but it's close. And he was so close to me, I could see the tip of his pickaxe every time he would swing it. I couldn't see him, but I could see just the tip come into frame. And he chased me, and I was zigging and zagging through trees.
Yeah.
Knowing at some point he would get me. I had a pocket knife, so he finally got me, and I stabbed him right in the fucking jugular with the pocket knife, and ran away for 2 minutes so I could get murdered again. Because that's how my playthrough of Friday the 13th always goes.
Well, that's okay. I mean, because you get experience points for the break off, for breaking free and all that. So,
yeah, I mean, it's all right. It's an all right time. It's not a great time. It's an all right time. Fortnite, I really like. They finally added the skins and stuff to Battle Royale.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's cosmetic, but that's going to really help that game, I think, take off. Not that it's struggling or anything, but I think people are really going to embrace it now that they can make their characters look different and different collectors or whatever they call them. But basically, your sledgehammer, you now have different options for that.
Your pickaxe, your
pickaxe,
resource
your glider.
Collecting.
Yeah, so I think you're going to see people really start pouring some time in there. Yesterday when we were playing, like almost all of my friends list was playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
I played those same things that you played. I also played. I finally started Stardew Valley on the Switch. Finally, it's good. It's just like Stardew Valley anywhere else.
The same thing, right?
Which is what you want out of a Switch experience. It's not a different game. It's
right.
Yeah,
you do want it to be the same.
Right. It's Stardew. It feels good. Plays good. I'm loving that. And then I played some VR, streamed it out for everybody. You can check that out, youtube.com/GameStitch. I streamed out Spark, SPARC, which I believe is a PSVR exclusive. And
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
I like it, but I was not good at it. You can watch the video and see that for yourself.
Yeah,
first time I'd ever played it.
You definitely did not appear to know how to do certain things that would allow you to be a winner.
Yeah, I could hit the ball back. I couldn't throw the ball very fast. My throws are like super slow. But I'm throwing like fucking baseball throws, so it's not my velocity. It's like I don't understand how you do it. Clearly is the problem. Because I'm like fucking throwing, I like Tommy John surgery scheduled now because of how hard I'm trying to throw this ball. But it like creep on the screen, so I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I like it. It's a mixture of like Pong, but also it's like this weird sort of like chess match between each other because you both have a ball.
Mm-hmm.
And you get one shield hit out of each of, like, when you're holding your ball. So once you deflect theirs, you have to then throw yours across the line in order for it to charge again to make another shield. And there's kind of a lot to it. And then you also have to dodge out of the way of theirs if you can't hit it back. So it can get chaos, but there's also sometimes where it totally slows down and you're both staring at each other, like waiting for somebody to make a move.
Who's next?
Which is, yeah, it's cool too because you see each other. So, you know, you'll put your hand up and kind of like motion, like, come on, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, throw the ball. Let's do this. And they're like, no, you throw the ball. And you're just in a standoff in the middle of the match. And they handle... One of my main concerns, I talked about this, I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast, but the reason I didn't buy this game at launch is because I was worried there would be no community, and it's an online-only game for the most part.
Right.
They handle it, I think, really elegantly, though, in that they pair you with 3 other people and put you in a room of 4 people, and you can just ready up and play with those 4 people like old-school arcade where you put your quarters up, basically.
Ah, okay.
It puts you in a room, and you just queue up in next, so it's putting you in a tiny room of people to queue up with. And maybe you can get a room with more. Mine only ever had 3 other people and me, so.
Gotcha.
But you can mute each player as you want, things like that. But it puts you in a room, and the cool thing is when you're not playing, there's a tiny like cord in front of you, and you can see the other people playing in like real time. So it's like a miniature version of the game, and then I can also see the other people in the room standing in front of me, and they're dancing and stuff because it's still tracking them.
Right.
So it's everybody kind of like hanging out and having a good time. And I didn't mind the wait at all. It didn't bother me because you can watch the other game and you can...
Dance.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, dancing in VR is the equivalent to be like being a mascot for a college team. Like, you don't give two fucks because no one knows who you are and they can't see you really. So I was like going off in that thing because you're like totally anonymous.
Right.
You can just dance. You can just dance your heart out. And I actually think that's probably the best multiplayer experience I've had in VR so far. I thought Spark was really good.
Oh, that's good.
And I want to learn how to get better at it because I think it's a lot of fun. I finally got a win. You can see that on the stream. I beat that dude pretty good.
And where's the stream at again?
YouTube.com/Gamestitch.
All right. Good to know.
It's there.
Well,
other than that was it for the new stuff.
Yeah, other than what I played, I did binge watch Stranger Things Season 2. Which
proud of that, too.
I haven't binge watched anything in forever. And I feel like this is a poor commentary on me. But it felt super fucking good to just lay around all day and watch TV.
I don't know. I'm getting like weird with that kind of stuff. Like yesterday, I probably could have played games even more than I did.
Well, see, I would split off, and like after I would watch a few episodes, and then I'd come play, and then I would watch a few episodes, and then I'd come play. So it was like the perfect entertainment binge day. Mm-hmm. And
I just felt like I always start feeling like I should do other stuff.
I do too, and I did do some stuff earlier in the morning, but I don't. It kind of felt like I was due. Like I was due for a day off where I didn't do a fucking thing. Because I've been tearing up floors. I still having to prep for winter. I'm doing this, doing that, getting stuff off the deck so that the snow doesn't crush it. Mm-hmm. And yesterday was just a day where I pulled up a little bit of floor and I was like, you know what? I don't feel like, no, not feeling it.
Right.
Not feeling doing work. So it was just a day where I did not do much at all except for watch Netflix and play video games. And it was a glorious day.
Like, you need those days every now and then. I'm just getting to where I can't. Not that I can't, but if I sit down and play for... So you and I played for, I don't know, like an hour in the morning. Mm-hmm. And then we played for like...
hour and a half at night. Probably.
Yeah, maybe 2 hours. And like, it's like late afternoon. It wasn't even night. Uh-huh. And then I played Switch in between there a little bit. But like, I don't know. I started like, I got to do this and I got to do that. And I think it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's the games aren't holding my attention. Maybe that's what it is.
I think that's part of it.
Because I also played also, if you watch the stream, you'll understand that I don't understand how streaming to YouTube works, because if you back out of that game, it immediately ends that stream. So that's why there's an abrupt cutoff at the end of that video. Because I trimmed off the part where I talk about how I'm about to play another game, because that didn't happen. Yeah. So I'd actually planned to play a little VR, and I did play. I didn't talk about this because there's no point. I played a little 2K VR, the basketball. Mm-hmm. It was on sale for like $2 on the last VR sale they had. It's not accurate at all. I played one round of the rookie 3-point shootout.
Yeah.
And I hit every single ball.
Oh, look at you.
So I'm like, well, this is broken. There's no way. In real life, I don't think I would have hit one.
Right.
And I hit them all. It's like, all right, well, this is going to do it.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, going back to what you're saying about games, I get it. I'm feeling the same way. There's just, with the exception of Life is Strange, there's just nothing that I've been excited to play.
See, that's the weird part about me, though, is like I am excited to play it, and I'm totally in it when I'm playing it. It's just like, after a while, I'm like, I should probably do some grown-up stuff. Just because I only get 2 days off, you know?
That's how I'm usually like that.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like being that way.
But, there's just not much that's really holding my attention that's like, ooh, I got to get in and play it. Mm-hmm. With the exception of like I said, Life is Strange. But because it's episodic, I kind of want to draw that out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't finished the second episode yet. Plus when I've been on, someone else has been on, so we've been playing something else. But
that's the problem a lot for me too, is that I get on with one plan and then I do something totally different because somebody's on and I'd rather play with them.
Right.
So I get a little distracted with that. And then there's some times where I'm like, I'm going to play and nobody's on and I don't even get on, even though I could get on and play something by myself.
But part of the problem too now is, it used to be if I had all that extra cash, I would just pick up a game I thought about, and it either sucked or I found myself a hidden gem.
Right.
Well, I don't take those chances anymore, so I'm not finding those hidden gems, and part of that discovery is key for me.
Yeah, I get that.
So, since I'm not doing that, because I have so much other stuff I'm spending money on, I'm putting a car together. I just spent $1 gazillion on flooring.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have that, that just dispensable income to just throw away this one seems cool. I'll try it. And
I'm still doing that too.
And if it sucks, it sucks. But if it's one of those, this is a lot better than I thought it was going to be, I don't have those experiences anymore.
See, I'm still doing that, and I'm not even playing them. Like, I'm like, oh, this looks neat, and then I don't. It's so bad. The other day, I thought about making a spreadsheet of the things I want to play and the order I want to play them in, because it's getting so out of hand with my back catalog that I almost need help to figure out where to start. So I was just going to go through, list them all, and then rank them, and leave it at that. Like, not fuck up that.
Right.
And just start picking them off one by one to get through them. But then I'm like, the idea of forcing myself to play something sounds terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't sound good at all. But then I look at some of the games, like, I don't know what it is, but I want to play No Man's Sky. Like, every day I want to play that game.
But you never do.
No, it's always something better to play, or newer, or more exciting, or somebody's on, or I just got this, or just got that. So,
well, the problem with No Man's Sky is you're going to have no clue what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, I don't know that I had much of a clue when I was playing it, though.
Yeah, well, now it's so different.
I know.
Supposedly, it's such a different experience that...
Yeah. I think I'm only like 2 trophies away from the platinum in that game, too. Like 2 or 3 trophies. Yeah. I got to scan everything in a couple more planets, and then I have to... Because I didn't get that trophy before they fixed it. Because you used to be able to scan a dead planet, and it just gave you all 100% of that planet.
Right.
Now you can't do that. And then I have to do so many like space battles more than I've done, and then after that I should have the platinum in that game. So I do want to go back to it.
Unless there's new.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. Can't worry about those new trophies.
That's true.
If you get the core, it still pops the platinum.
Okay.
As long as they added them as like expansion trophies.
Right.
And most time they don't add them to like the original game because that gets sketchy. If you like increase the actual, because then you could have a platinum and I not have a platinum. We have the same amount of trophies.
Yeah, could
I
have.
don't know. If this is your first time joining us, this is the official Gamestitch Podcast. It posts every Monday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time on podcast services around the world. Each week we get together, we talk about all the gaming stuff we love, some stuff we don't love. Sometimes we talk about No Man's Sky.
Sometimes
we talk about No Man's Sky more than we should.
Sometimes. There was, a couple of years ago, there was a long stretch there where we talked about it more than we should.
I still feel the same way about that game, though.
I do too. I still feel you have to
fond
accept
memories.
it. Accept it as the experience that it is.
Yeah, fond memories. If you like this show, head over to patreon.com/GameStitch and you can support us over there. If you don't like the show, keep listening. Maybe we'll get better. It's been almost 5 years. Surely we've learned something.
Right. I don't suggest holding your breath on that, but go for it.
If you don't have any money to toss us, that's cool too. This podcast will always be free. We got a lot of news this week. I want to dive right in, head first.
We got some, yeah.
On the shallow end, I want to dive right in that.
It's it's an interesting week for you. For this guy, not so much.
Well, a lot of these are bite-sized. Some of these not. Some of these, some of
these are meaty.
Yeah, some of them are a little meaty. I want to start with what I think is the most interesting topic, maybe. You know, the story itself isn't important, but the conversation that has sparked from it, I think, is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox boss Shannon Loftus, who heads up the Xbox publishing for first-party games, made a statement this week about single-player games. And I'm not going to bore you with the whole thing, but just to kind of boil it down, she says that single-player, story-driven experiences are getting harder and harder to make.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not from a creative standpoint, it's financially. And things that people don't like games as a service or microtransactions, those things help aid the production of these new games, these new single-player only experiences. And she related it back to the Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like that $10 a month service is going to allow Xbox to make first-party single-player experiences and things like that people don't necessarily like, where they're, you know, having to constantly feed the machine money. You know, without that, it's hard to make these big epic like Horizon Zero Dawns and things like that.
Yeah. All right. First of all, I think this is a little bit of spin here. I understand what she's saying, and in theory and concept, she's probably right. The problem is the extra money that they're making they're going to be about making money in the end. So the money that they are making off of Games Pass and these microtransactions, these things you don't like, you know what they're going to be invested back in? More of those things you don't like, because that's what's making money. It's not going to be. If you believe this hype, then it's on you and you deserve what happens. But they are not going to. You're not going to see it the way she's completely oversimplifying the way that this works.
And so here's where I stand on this. I think she's sort of telling the truth. I think that it is true that if they make lots of money on other things, they can try to make single player experiences. But I also think it's true in that most of your AAA games are just chasing the dollar.
Right.
Every now and then you get one and you're like, this is, you know, I think that was the thing with Horizon. It's refreshing to get a good single player, you know, pretty much, you know, totally,
single
you know, all
player,
single player. The entire only experience was on the disc.
Yeah.
All of it. You didn't need anything else. I know they have DLC coming out, but you don't need it. Like, that entire experience was on the disc.
Yeah.
And it sold relatively well, but how much better would it have sold if it had games as a service or
multiplayer loot boxes,
multiplayer microtransactions?
Yeah.
Right. How much more does Sony make? And I'm sure they think about those things. What's the Sony bin one that's coming out?
The zombie one?
Yeah, what's that game called? Like blanking on the name.
Me too.
It's the motorcycle one.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it because I wasn't super impressed with it, I guess.
Let It Die or something like that.
It's not Let It Die, but it is Let It... Days Gone. Days Gone.
Days Gone. I was almost there. Like Days Gone, probably not going to be that Horizon Zero Dawn experience. It's probably going to fall on the other side of that as a game that took way too long to develop and probably under-delivers. And that's expensive.
Yeah.
That's very expensive as a developer, as a publisher, to have that happen.
And that is the catch-22 is... And I think a lot of it comes down to everybody that is involved in the creating a game process. And you got some that are chasing the dollar. You want some that are find the greatest experience. You want some that are in the middle. You've got others that don't care and aren't paying attention. I don't know that when they start creating a game, I understand changes have to happen and you have to make adjustments. But I feel like a lot of the games that are being made here recently, especially the AAA titles, they don't have there's not a set plan or a set plan's not the right word, obviously, but they don't have it laid out on how this needs to go, and they're constantly making adjustments on the fly. And this person comes in and says, you know what, we don't want to do it this way, we need to do it this way. So now this has to be thrown in, and this has to be thrown out, and now you have to change the plan further down. There needs to be a clear, concise plan from the beginning, particularly on a single-player game. You have to say, all right, you know what? We're making a single-player only game. We're not going to do microtransactions. We're not going to do multiplayer. This is just going to be we want to give the gamer a great, great single-player only experience. Then you lay down with your idea and you lay out your plan. And you do not deviate from that plan. I think that's where we're seeing a lot of these problems, is all these developers want to do one thing, publishers want to do other. They become some amalgamation of both, and now you've got a jack of all trades, master of nothing.
The fear on the publisher side is, what if this game doesn't make money? Like, I think that's a knee-jerk reaction on a lot of things on the publisher side, because it has to make money. Like, it has to. It can't not make money, because we have to shut you. Look at what happened with Visceral. Mm-hmm. Like, your game can't come out and not make money.
Right.
Or you can't take too long to make something and not make money. I'm sure Amy Hennig's game was going to be good. I'm sure it was going to be good.
I've heard some reports there was a lot wrong with that game, though.
Yeah. But, there was... Naughty Dog talks about it. There was a lot wrong with Last of Us 6 months before it came out.
Right.
I'm sure that game would have came together, but it was taking too long. They were afraid it wasn't going to make money, so they had to pivot. Or they didn't have to pivot, but they chose to pivot. And I get it. If Anthem comes out and it isn't good or isn't well received, BioWare is done.
Probably.
You can't make games that don't sell well.
Yeah.
And I think that's true for multiplayer or single player, but I think the odds of you having a home run are a lot better with multiplayer. We both have friends that buy games that only play multiplayer. Don't give a fuck about the story.
Yeah. I know.
But there aren't many people who buy a game who play the story and don't give a fuck about multiplayer. It doesn't usually work that way.
To be fair, I would call them acquaintances.
I have friends that play that way.
I don't think I do. Well, I guess I do. Yeah, I do.
I very rarely have someone who is the opposite, who plays, I know a couple people who buy Call of Duty, play the story, and then trade it in, but that's rare. I know way more people who buy Call of Duty and only play multiplayer. Mm-hmm. Or, some people, buy Uncharted and only play the story. Some people buy Uncharted and only play multiplayer, We have a friend who only played multiplayer in that game, never played the story. Mm-hmm. So, I think multiplayer is the selling point. I think games that are single player, they're afraid. Shadow of War was afraid. That's why there's microtransactions in that game. They were afraid. They were afraid that game would not sell well for what it cost to make.
Yeah, you're right. But you got to be careful, though, because look at all the controversy that it created.
And I guess is that free promotion for them?
Is it, or does it mean that there's people that it's not going to sell as well as it would have because of those? Well,
I don't know.
Obviously, we'll never know. Obviously,
right?
But those are the questions that you really need to ask instead of just knee jerking. The first Shadow of War, or what was it? Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor. That
sold very well. It reviewed very well. And it didn't have all that. That's a tried and true tradition. You've shown that works. And now we will never know if sales were made better by microtransactions, weren't as well, because we'll never know that at this point. But it almost seems like because you had a property that did do well, that it does appear like it was, you know what, this is a way to make more money. Mm-hmm. I don't know that just to the everyday person, it doesn't give off the impression that, we needed to do this in order to make money. But the first game you did fucking great. All around. It sold well. It reviewed well. People played it. Why did you need this again? Because, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's not enough to just put that game out again Like, I think attention spans are a lot shorter now than they used to be. Like, it used to be enough to make a sequel and add a few new things, but pretty much keep the core. That doesn't seem to be enough now. When people get that, they're like, oh, it's more of the same. It's boring. I mean, I think it's harder to please the consumer.
But do we know that? Because we don't actually see that very often.
I mean, they did that for a long time. The sequels were just more of the same game.
Yeah.
But I think players started to complain about that, and then I think companies said, well, fuck it. If we can't please them, let's try to make more money. And now we're in that place of that weird in-between where some people are, indie games are, in my opinion, rising right now.
Yeah.
Because there are still people who don't have to answer to anybody. They're just trying to make a good game. Like,
yeah,
they don't need that kind of money to run either.
Yeah, I think I said
it's
that.
Expensive to run EA.
Yeah, I think I said that last week.
It's expensive to run Sony or Naughty Dog.
It is.
We were talking about when we were playing yesterday, Dreams is still not out. Media Molecule is still not made. Dreams. They have 2 fucking offices. And that game has been in development for like 5 years. Active development. They have not made a single game since Little Big Planet 2. They didn't make Little Big Planet 3. They didn't make the Vita version.
Right.
Oh, they made Tearaway. Excuse me. Let me take that back. They made
Tearaway. Yeah.
Which was fun. It was fun. Tearaway didn't make Sony any money.
No.
It just didn't sell enough. So, like, what is going on there? That studio needs to be closed if it's not going to make games because it's sucking the whale dry. And I think you're going to see more closures like Visceral. I think you're going to get more and more of that. I think that sucks.
I think what you're going to see happen is a lot of these smaller developing companies that have been absorbed by larger publishers. Those are what pretty soon you'll just have like 3 major companies that put games out.
But the fear is that when those indie companies do get absorbed or bought out or however you want to look at it, like they just become another cog in the machine.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only true way to keep that experience like raw and uncorporate, I guess, is to let them be small. But they can only survive like that for so long too. They need money,
right? But you need to let them maintain their autonomy. You need to let them remain their own entity, make their own choices.
I think the in between is something like what Ubisoft tried to do with Child of Light and Valiant Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love the path they started down there, but obviously Ubisoft has a lot going on right now with the potential hostile takeover and things like that. So I get why they deviated a little bit, but I think that made a lot of sense when they were saying, hey, our people they also need breaks. No one wants to draw fucking plants for Assassin's Creed every day for the last 8 years. So let's let them take a break. Let's do a quick little side project. Let's do like these Ubisoft indies that we're doing. Mm-hmm. They had a name for them, but I don't remember the name of them. But and let's do these small games that give people a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
I think that's the answer for places like EA and Sony and those big companies, Activision. Like, let's let people make something else.
Yeah,
and then make them go back to drawing plants for Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft they released 2 of their biggest games a week apart.
Yeah.
South Park and Assassin's Creed now potentially competing with each other.
Right.
Because they got to get them out the door.
Yeah, it's because if they didn't, it gets to a point where there must be problems. It must not be good. It's been in development.
Or how much money do they have in those 2 games?
Right. How much do they lose every day it doesn't go out? Yeah.
By all accounts, both those look good too.
Yeah.
So,
from what I've heard.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. Podcast at Gamestitch.com or hit us up on Twitter at Game_Stitch. I think this is interesting, and I want to see where people land on it. It's Halloween almost.
2 days away.
Or really close. By the time you listen to this, it's already happened. Probably. Or it's happening. It's happening right then as you're listening.
I think Halloween is on Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday? I mean, if so, you got a chance to get in before. A slight chance. A day. A potential day before.
Actually, you probably have a day and a half because you're not trick-or-treating at 9 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday.
I am. That's all. I mean, you got to get that candy.
No, you're not.
Nothing says that you have to wait. It's Halloween all day.
It is Halloween all day. You are not going at 9 o'clock in the morning. Neither are any of our listeners. I'm just informing you right now. No, you're not.
So I thought it'd be fun to just give you a list of games that have done Halloween updates. So I'm just going to blow through these. If you're interested, I don't know that you will be, stop me. I'll give you some details on it. If not, I'll just read the list. Absolver, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, The Elder Scrolls Online, Entropia Universe is what that would actually be called. The Escapist 2, Final Fantasy 15, For Honor, Fortnite, Gears of War 4, Grand Theft Auto 5, Guild Wars 2, Hack Tag, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Killing Floor 2, Minecraft, Overwatch, Paragon, Pokemon Go, Rift, which I didn't even realize was still around, Rocket League, Smite, Trove, World of Warcraft, World of Warships. So that's the list of games. So if you're interested in Halloween or any of those games, you should check them out. I think it's cool when they do holiday-related updates.
Yeah, you probably care more than I do, but...
Yeah, I'm festive.
I know, you are. I'm not. Fuck holidays.
Well, since you didn't care about that, here's a story I know you'll really get emotionally involved in. Metal Gear Solid Metal Gear Survive has a release date, and it's been confirmed February 20th in the U.S. Our European brethren will get it on February 22nd.
Yay.
Anyone who pre-orders gets a survival pack, which comes with a bunch of gold-plated weapons and some other junk.
Keep in mind, it is going to be always online.
Yeah, multiplayer-only Metal Gear.
Yeah, it's going to be causing some hubbaloo in the...
Ooh, the hubbaloo.
The
dreaded hubbaloo.
in the gamer department, some people are a little upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Metal Gear multiplayer I thought was weird, so I don't know how this will translate.
Probably weird.
I wonder if they add a battle royale mode.
Hope not.
100 people all just stealthing around.
Better not. They might get sued.
They might. They might not get sued. It's hard to say. We got 3 Xbox stories here. 2 of them I think are okay. One of them's a little sad for me. So I'm going to start with the sad one. Microsoft has finally killed off Xbox One for Kinect. Kinect for Xbox One, I should say.
I'm pretty sure we all knew. Pretty sure we all knew what you meant.
What did I just say? So no more Kinect. They are leaving what's there for now. So if you're one of those people that uses it for Netflix or Xbox Pause or Xbox Play, or if you're one of the weirdos that still plays Kinect games, you're still good to go.
Yeah, I think it's gone as far as it can go in the gaming realm. I know it still does a lot in hospitals and the like, but I just think they've done what they can do with it in the realm of gaming.
I hate to see them give up on anything, but I agree that their non-gaming applications have proven to be much more useful than it as a gaming peripheral.
And more than likely, much more lucrative.
I'm sure. It's also, apparently, some part of it is incorporated into the HoloLens.
Yes.
So in some small way, the Kinect lives on in something else we'll never see.
In the AR, that again will probably have limited gaming applications, but be
really
lucrative
expensive
in other markets.
Right. The last Microsoft story here, PUBG is getting a physical release, and that was confirmed. Still no confirmation on release date. Still no confirmation on exclusivity window. Mm-hmm. But some reports coming from inside Microsoft saying they are working with Bluehole to try to extend that exclusivity. And Bluehole's official comment was they're working as hard as they can to make a great PUBG experience for Xbox One and PC.
Yeah, the problem is I don't know that PUBG holds the water it does now that Fortnite is taken off.
On consoles, I would agree. I don't people were excited about PUBG, but now they're all playing Fortnite.
Yeah. I think you lied. I don't think that was the last Xbox story.
Oh, yeah.
I think there was one more.
There is one more, not on this list, that I intended to do in between the first story and this one. So I'm going to switch up the order. Backwards compatibility on Xbox One just got another update, and I think this one's kind of cool because it's adding original Xbox support. 13 games in total. And if you give me 2 seconds, I'll tell you what they are.
Some of them are some real gems.
Yeah,
some of them,
most
maybe
most of them are
not
gems.
so much.
All right, so we've got Black, Blood Rain 2's Crimson Skies, Dead to Rights, Fusion Frenzy, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, Neo Wave, The King of Fighters, Ninja Gaiden Black, Pirates with exclamation mark,
Pirates,
Prince of Persia, Psychonauts, Red Faction 2, and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Which I think is important to note. I will be playing here sometime in the next couple days because I have it on disc and I'm super excited.
So that's how you do it. You pop the disc in. That's the magic behind it.
That's what I hear.
Yep, you put the disc in. These initial 13 original Xbox games join the already staggering list of 434 Xbox 360 games that are backwards compatible on Xbox One. I know that Sony and some other people have said, hey, nobody uses this. I
It's
think
nice
they're wrong.
to have.
Yeah, I think they're wrong, too. I think people do use this.
I think so. I'm getting ready to use it.
Mm-hmm. I think people use it.
I think they do too.
I think people like it.
Maybe not as much as maybe some people. Maybe not so much that you would consider all the uproar about not having backwards compatibility would lead you to believe, but I still think it gets used.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, it's not the end-all, be-all, but people use it, I think. Lego Dimensions, you heard of that?
I have.
Well, it turns out that's going away. Toys to Life may be coming to an end, and that the last competitor, because I don't count Amiibo, that's something different.
Mm-hmm.
Lego Dimensions has bowed out a year earlier than their initial 3-year plan, and I think it's kind of sad because I think Lego Dimensions is probably the most well-done Toys to Life.
It was also the last
franchise.
one to come into the market.
Yeah, and the pie didn't get bigger when Lego Dimensions entered the race, so they just got a third of what was there. So
Right.
that put Activision and Disney in a situation where they weren't making enough money to support their titles, and probably Lego not making enough.
Well, that's the thing is once Disney and Skylanders went away, the pie didn't get bigger. Lego Dimensions still only kept that third.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like they took over that pie. They still the pie got smaller.
Right. Well, Warner Brothers and Lego and everyone involved there thanks everyone for playing their games and says what's available is what's available, and they don't plan to make any new sets. So
No, but they're not getting rid of servers and such either. So
yeah, no date on servers, so hopefully that's still there. Scoop it up. The worst case scenario when you buy one of these kits, if it doesn't work, you still got Legos.
you got toys.
Yep. They just don't have the life part. You just have toys,
Yes.
which is okay. That's okay too. The Nintendo Switch Update 4.0 that we talked about last week. It also adds something that we didn't talk about, a little hidden gem that I think was discovered and kind of first put out there by IGN. But apparently it has GameCube support now. And by GameCube support, I mean the controller only.
Some people would argue is the best controller that Nintendo has made.
Those people are wrong, but yeah. Some people would argue that, and I would tell those people, you're wrong. Nintendo makes some fucked up controllers.
They do.
But I will say that those controllers lead to things that we all love about our current controllers. So hats off to you, Nintendo, for pioneering that, but you make some fucked up controllers. What the internet is more on fire about is that they assume that GameCube controller support has to mean that Smash Bros. Is on its way to Switch. And they're probably right.
Because without Smash Bros., apparently Nintendo is nothing the way the internet talks.
Right. And Smash Bros. Is nothing without the GameCube controller.
Yep, and it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Especially when we put them together, you got PB&J.
I'll be using the Pro controller because I think that's the best controller Nintendo's ever made. But I will get Smash Bros. When it comes out, and hats off to anyone who wants to use the GameCube controller. I think the reason this wasn't publicized is because I don't think it's quite ready. There are some issues. Most notably, there's no Z button on the left side, so you don't have a trigger over there.
Fair enough.
So not going to be totally adaptable here. But we'll see. One of the other things it adds is Bluetooth support for headphones. They have to have a dongle, though. So you have to be docked, and they have to have a dongle. But like your Sony Gold headset will work on your Nintendo Switch now.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's neat. I think it's exciting to see the Switch do things.
Here's a fun one for you, Ryan.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I'm sure you're excited about it. Nintendo Switch Splatoon 2 bringing back an awesome classic map.
Why are you sure I'm excited about it?
Because you should play Splatoon. Black Belly Skate Park, one of the original 5 maps featured in the original Splatoon, is now live on Splatoon 2. So if you've stepped away from that, go check it out. It's there. New weapon also debuting same time. I like the update. I like that they're keeping that game running.
I can say I'm not excited about it. Just so you know.
Get excited.
You were wrong.
If I didn't do it this next one, I know it will.
Oh, yeah.
Gear Club Unlimited for the Nintendo Switch.
Because I need more racing sims in my life because the Zero I play now isn't enough.
Not enough. If you're not a Mario Kart guy, if Fast RMX isn't enough for you, now you've got Gear Club Unlimited coming, which is a simulation-style racer for the Nintendo Switch featuring 400 cars and at least some entry-level customization. You're not going to be adjusting gear ratios, but it does look like there's some customization. 400 cars is pretty substantial.
Yeah, I bet it don't look near as pretty as
its competitors. It doesn't look like Gran Turismo Sport. It doesn't look like Forza.
Right.
But it does look like a simulation-style racer for the Nintendo Switch that you can, play with your friends when you're at a basketball court hanging out.
Apparently, that was missing from the Nintendo lineup. was a racing sim.
Yeah, I like to see them make different things, and I like to see them push the capabilities of the Switch.
Well, if nothing screams Nintendo, it's racing sim.
I think that's true. That comment checks out. This next one is actually cool.
Yeah,
mini Nintendo Switch Video Projector.
This is neat.
Popped up on Indiegogo crowdfunding site, the OJO Projector, which may be the worst name and also the worst part of this story. Because the thing is freaking cool.
Maybe it's called the Ojo.
I like to call it the OJO, though. Well, see, it's from Yes Ojo or Yes OJO Studios, based in Hong Kong. So I see what they did there. But I don't care for it. But this is a projector. It looks like the original dock with a projector added to the back. You slide your Switch in there, and wham, bam, thank you, sir, you've got a projector. Right on your wall, right on the side of your house, right on your neighbor's house, right on your car, anywhere you want it.
Wham, bam, thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's how. To not appear sexist, I switched that up. This thing's portable.
It is
totally portable. It's rechargeable. They say you should get 4 hours of battery life out of it. So you can take it anywhere you want. Take it to the lake, project it on the water, which I don't suggest doing. The Nintendo Switch not water friendly.
No, but, or sand friendly probably.
Yeah, you could take this thing anywhere and play it. And for the first 200, which I think they're gone at the time of this recording, but for the first 200, it was $270. For the next 500 backers, you can get one for $300, or you can wait for it to come to full retail, which they are saying will be $370. This thing capable of doing a 30-inch screen all the way up to a 120-inch screen.
Very cool.
Still no word on if you can use it as like a regular dock. It does have an HDMI. So people are thinking that you could just use this thing in non-projector mode as your standard dock.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So it, if you're wondering if anybody's interested, it reached its goal in one day.
They were only asking for $30,000, which I believe was just to test the waters to see, if this is something people would want. So, and then they did. So yeah, apparently it's something people want.
If you're worried about the quality, it does use a Texas Instruments display technology.
Straight out of your calculator.
That old TI-83 running that projector for you. Shouldn't be a problem. The powerful TI-83 graphing calculator. Reminds me of my youth. More Nintendo SNES Classic. That's not true. SNES Edition new 3DS XL coming. Man, Nintendo's got to work on their naming. Following the release of the Super Famicom version in Japan and Europe, Nintendo will soon bring the SNES-themed 3DS XL to the U.S., and it looks like old school Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it does. It looks good.
It's got the reset button, it's got the power button, it's got the eject on the front. It looks awesome. Even the box
looks old school Nintendo, yeah.
Mm-hmm. This classic SNES Edition 3DS XL is available for pre-order on Amazon, and it does ship with Super Mario Kart, the SNES version of Mario Kart. And it says the bundle is exclusive to Amazon. I don't know if that means the 3DS XL is exclusive or just the bundle that comes with Super Mario Kart. Tried to do some digging here, couldn't find a firm answer on that. But if you're interested, you can pre-order it right now for $200.
Sometimes we do research and it pans out. Sometimes we just cannot get to the bottom of things.
If you're like, whoa, $200, who can afford that? But I really need to play 3DS games. There's a 2DS XL. It's going to be a Pokeball-themed handheld coming out next month, and that thing's only $160.
Much
so
cheaper.
If you want to save $40, yeah. That thing's coming out November 3rd. Plus, if you just like Pokeballs, I think the new 2DS, I like the design. They went to that clamshell look for it, but I think it looks good.
Pokeballs.
Yeah, Pokeballs.
Some people just like the balls.
Some people do. Some people are going to love this, the biggest story of the week.
Okay.
Animal Crossing Pocket Camp coming November to mobile. This is the one they promised forever ago when Super Mario Run came out. This looks like Animal Crossing, but on your phone. And I'm about this shit.
It's probably $10.
Probably, and I think probably going to spend that day one. Because I definitely want this. And I hope someone I know gets it, because that's part of Animal Crossing is visiting your friends' areas and all that.
I wouldn't hold my breath for that, but okay.
I'm going to convince somebody. I don't know who it is yet, but somebody.
It's not me.
The design, sound, look, all that looks like Animal Crossing. But obviously there's some differences here. It does have to be scaled down a little bit for phone. So instead of like your house, it looks like you have an RV, which you can upgrade. So you keep getting bigger RVs in order to design those like you would your home. And instead of Tom Nook, you've got Pocket Camp, OK Motors, which is where you go to buy upgrades for the RVs. So that's pretty interesting. And it's a mobile game, so it has that, this is why it might be free. It's got these leaf ticket things. So you can earn them through gameplay, but you can also purchase them with real-world money. And they can be used to shorten the time needed to craft items. So there's a chance this thing comes out totally free to play. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about it, but there's some new stuff. Completing quests and visitors provide crafting materials. Instead of just buying new items, you can also craft furniture by bringing materials to Cyrus, which if you're a old school Animal Crossing patron, But yeah, I'm excited. This is what I wanted out of it. I didn't want a bullshit version of Animal Crossing, and it doesn't look like this is. So, if it's free, everyone get it. If it's not free, someone I know still get it.
Not me.
Yeah, someone should get it.
Not me, though.
That's it for the news. I know we went fast. We're Nintendo heavy. But I thought it was all gems, all nuggets for you guys.
I'm glad you did.
I mean, I scoured the internet. There wasn't much out there.
No, that I do know. Yeah.
So I went Nintendo Fat.
Nintendo
P-H-A-T.
Fat. P-H-A-T Fat.
Yeah. Now it's time for my oldest, newest favorite segment. We reach back in our gaming past. We dust off an old gem. It's gone but not forgotten. This week it's Dan's turn to tell you all about something you should check out.
This is the last game Pandemic Studios ever put out. The last game they developed. They were shuttered long after this. Was released in America on December 8th, 2009. And the game I'm talking about is The Saboteur.
I remember the Saboteur.
Saboteur's open world game taking place in World War II. Paris, your goal, it pulls from a lot of different games. Your goal is to essentially win back the morale of different parts of the city so that they are now Allied friendly and you drive the Nazis out. It's all a revenge mission. Your best friend got killed by this Nazi race car driver who you were racing, who cheated so he could win, because that's what Nazis do. And so then you go on to become this resistance fighter. Now, what was really cool about this game was that it was in the places that were occupied. It was in black and white. It was very dreary looking, and then color would return to those areas as you started to win support for the Allies and win Allied support. And then it was completely colorized once you did that. It played a lot like Assassin's Creed, with the exception of having super cool parkour. But you could climb on rooftops, travel across rooftops. You could do it in stealth. There was a number of different ways you could play. But it was just a really, really cool experience. I like games from that time period anyway. That take place in like that kind of World War II. Mm-hmm. So I had a lot of fun with this game. It's got some driving elements to it. It's very much open world sandbox. For the most part, it reviewed well. It averages around a 7 out of 10, which is a decent review. But some of the mechanics were a little janky. It was by no means the best game that came out that year, but it was definitely a very serviceable game. And it did offer a few different things for the player that they may not have encountered before, particularly the color paletting. Really made it very, very interesting. So the reason this is my Gone But Not Forgotten is because it was a single-player only game. We've talked about single-player, where that's gone. Pandemic closed right after this game, even though it reviewed well and sold well. So it almost was foreshadowing for the future on how things were going to be, in my opinion. So that's why this week's is Pandemic Studios' Gone But Not Forgotten. The Saboteur.
I remember a little controversy about
the DLC?
Like the stripper tickets or something.
There was DLC that you could get. And
these tickets.
And what it did is it allowed them to be topless.
Yeah.
It allowed you could go into this burlesque club where they were topless.
I remember that about the Saboteur. It's also one that I picked up and never played, so I have it somewhere.
So it's ranks right up there with about 90% of the rest of your games.
Correct. It's right there with them. Right there in the running for shit that I'll never play that I purchased.
Gotcha.
But I bought it like way later on when I paid like $3 for it.
Right.
So I'm not out a ton of money. That's this week's Gone But Not Forgotten. Remember, if you have a Gone But Not Forgotten for us, you can write in at game_stitch or podcast@gamestitch.com using the hashtag GBNF, just like our friend Thomas Barfield did.
He did. This week he says, at GameStitch, my GBNF is Area 51 arcade version by Atari. Played it at Pinball's Classic Arcade when I was on my vacation, which I thought was cool. Mm-hmm. Very cool. I
have fond memories of this. I actually have a friend who owns this cabinet. He doesn't own the normal small arcade that people would want. He's got the big like Hulk version of this thing. It's got the big 32-inch fucking tube TV, and then it's got a pedestal with the guns on it. But I also remember this fondly. My Pizza Hut where I grew up had this. Mm-hmm. And I have played a ton of Area 51, and it is a great game, and it should not be forgotten.
No, it was a lot of fun. And thanks for that, Thomas. We appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, good pull. Strong pull.
Strong.
Powerful classic game. The Area 51.
It's a good one.
Yeah, Police Trainer, also interchangeable on that board, and that's a fun one, too.
Yes.
That brings us to shout-outs. Remember, if you want to shout out, all you have to do is support us over at patreon.com/GameStitch at the $10 tier or more, and you get a shout-out. If you don't provide a shout-out to us, one will be provided for you, because that's how we roll, and we don't want you to miss your shout-out.
Right.
So, I got a shout-out at 5:30 this morning from Thomas.
Okay.
5:26. Let's be accurate here.
5:26. We're all about accuracy. Journalistic integrity right here.
Right. There must be a story behind this, because not only is that early as balls, but it's very specific. And his shout out is, if you do nothing else, get an external hard drive of some sort and always back up game save data.
Ooh, I'm feeling like I'm really hoping that Thomas didn't have a bad night, but it's sounding that way.
Got to be a story behind that at 5:26 a.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah, I would think so. It seems that I feel like I need to say I'm sorry for you, Thomas. I feel your pain. I'll run right out and get one, as a matter of fact. Because I don't think I want to feel that kind of pain.
Yeah, I have some of my stuff backed up to the cloud, but my cloud's full on PS4, so not everything.
Right.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Even games I don't play anymore, I don't want to lose my data for them.
And since Garrett didn't send us one, our good friend Garrett Wade didn't send us one, it's my turn to give him one.
Okay.
So my shout out is going to give him a little bit of respect. Garrett's shout out is, I realize the Dolphins may suck this year, but I love my Fins.
I will give him credit in that he's never wavered from that since we have been lucky enough to know him.
Nope, he's always been a fan, whether they were good, bad, sucked.
They played Thursday night against the Ravens.
And
it wasn't pretty. It was 40-0.
Right.
40 zip. And he was excited for that game before it started. And knowing Garrett the way that I do, he'll be excited Sunday when they play. Again.
He is a hardcore Dolphins fan.
He's a fan.
Whether they win or lose, whether they play like the Little Giants or the New York Giants or the Miami Dolphins, whoever they play like, he's there for them. So that's Garrett's shout out. Mm-hmm. The Dolphins may suck, but I love me my Fins.
And we've all been there. You know, we like teams that
I've been there for 30 fucking years, so.
Right. And you know, in Nashville, we celebrate mediocrity.
Like nobody's business, yeah.
Right. So we do our absolute best to stay positive here, even when there's nothing to stay positive about. You know, we're 4-3 and we're acting like we got rings already.
You're living the fucking dream right now.
Right. So I understand where you're coming from. But this area does make it a little easier to be positive, I would say.
Yeah. Nashville with the Titans is kind of like Jim Carrey's character in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Right. That clearly also the Dolphins beat the Titans. I want to be clear on that too. One of the Titans' losses this year came from the Dolphins. But good luck next week, Garrett. I think Miami plays Oakland. So that probably is going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, that may not be working in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You love you some Fins. So you stick with them. That's goddamn right.
Yeah. I don't like fair weather fans.
I've been a Jets fan for 30 years, and I've paid for it every single one of those years.
Yeah, and you think Dan doesn't have it bad? The Dolphins are ahead of the Jets in the standings right now. He knows real pain, too. Every year,
I'm used to it now. I'd live with it. Every
year, everyone outside of New York is like, Jets are going to be pretty good this year. And then they're not.
No.
But like national coverage, they always talk about the Jets, how they're going to be good this year.
Uh-huh. And they never are. There was 1 year, Mark Sanchez's first year.
The butt fumble year?
Was that the butt fumble year?
I
think that was the next year.
Oh, okay. I missed the butt fumble.
But the first year was the year they lost to Indianapolis in the AFC Championship.
We had a good year our first year in Tennessee when we went to the Super Bowl and lost.
Yeah. Oh, was that the stretch?
Yeah.
Was that the stretch here?
Yeah. That's been a
point of
uphill battle ever since then.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the Predators, who I think just celebrated 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah, you know your team isn't doing so hot when they peaked at a Super Bowl loss.
And that was like Houston's. Like, that was the Oilers, too. That was just the Oilers playing in Nashville. Just to be clear on what that was. Make sure you follow us on the social medias. Also, thanks, guys, for the shout-outs. Follow us on the social medias. I am at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Shirtless Dan. And together we are at Game_Stitch. It's important you get that underscore in there because the dude that squats on Gamestitch is not us.
No.
Or lady. I don't know who's squatting on it. Someone's squatting on it.
Oh, they're a piece of shit, whoever they are.
Woo, harsh words.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Suck on that, stranger.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Right.
We tried to file a grievance with Twitter once. That didn't go anywhere.
No.
So
they didn't even acknowledge us with an okay.
Yeah. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GameStitch. We do put the podcast up there in case you need a different way to listen to it. But we also put our streams up there. So you can check out my playthrough of Spark. Or, who knows, maybe I got something else in the works that I'm going to stream soon.
Or maybe I do.
Ooh, shit. Cliffhanger. Teaser. Foreshadowing. All those things.
Metaphor, whatever. Just start throwing out terms.
There's a streamer coming. You want to get on the stream train before it leaves the station. YouTube.com/GameStitch. If you want to be a part of it. Sometimes we have to stream on Twitch because the Xbox is funny. So twitch.tv/GameStitch for that. If you subscribe to both of them, hit the little notifications, you'll know every time we go live. And I can tell you, YouTube's pretty on it. You get a little email with a red dot on it that says, hey, GameStitch is live and you should be watching. So, checketh that out. I think that's about it.
I think that does it.
I think that does it. This is episode 250.
250.
The 50. The 250. I also want to give a shout out to Live PD. I like that show a lot.
Okay.
I don't watch a lot of TV, but something about cops without having to wait the in-between boring parts is pretty good.
I've never seen it, so.
It's just cops, but you know when you're like nothing's happening, there's none of that because they just jump to another set of cops. Because they've got 30 cameras on the ground, so if this one's boring, they just go to another one.
I've never been a cops fan.
Oh, well, then you're not going to like this because that's pretty much what it is.
Okay, yeah, not for me.
But I like the Live PD.
You would.
Comes on Fridays, though, competes with my Gold Rush time, and we all know that that's sacred.
We do.
Sacred time. Thanks for listening, everybody. I know that we've been doing this for a while, and we appreciate your time each and every week.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for lending us your ears. Let us penetrate those skulls week after week. And it means a lot to us.
We do. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. I said some sappy stuff last week, too, but you weren't there for that.
No, because my computer's stupid, and it makes me want to smash it right over my fucking knee and then jam it into somebody's throat. But
at least you've been able to calm down since then about it. And you're no longer upset.
It's the important thing. It's the important thing. Growth. I'm showing growth.
Yeah. You've processed it. You've moved on, clearly. So I think we can all be happy about that. That's all I got. You got anything else? Words of wisdom you want to sign off with?
No, keep on keeping on, I guess. How's that?
That works for me.
All right.
Life's a garden. Dig it. Good night.
Good night.